So I think we're gonna start, and then there will be a few speakers today with us. The point is to introduce you to ESCA School of Management, which is a private School of Management located in France. We offer undergraduate and postgraduate programs, but today we'll make a focus on our postgraduate offers and more specifically our Masters of Science. And there will be a further focus on the MSc in Digital and Big Data for Value, which will be introduced a bit later on in the presentation. Okay, so this will be the speakers for today. So I am Laura Clements. I'm the Africa Area Recruitment Officer at ESCA School of Management. So my role is to recruit mostly students coming from the African continent, which is quite a huge one. So actually we have been used of recruiting students coming mostly from Francophone African countries to start off with. But since we are also an international school delivering all of our programs in English, we tend to recruit more and more students coming from non-Francophone countries, such as Nigeria as an Anglophone country, of course, but also students coming from Eastern Africa as well. So there have been an increasing number of students who are interested in knowing a bit more about ESCA and applying for our different range of programs. Bruna, with the MSc Digital and Big Data for Value Program Director, will then introduce you to that specific MSc that ESCA has been delivering for a bit now. And Israel, I'm very pleased to have you with us today for that presentation, because Israel is a Nigerian student and he has been admitted to ESCA for the MSc in Digital and Big Data for Value, and he will tell you more maybe about his student and applicant journey at ESCA, and you will be joining us for the next intake taking place in late August, beginning of September this year. Okay, so let's dive in. Besides talking about ESCA, I would like to make a brief introduction about why should you choose France as a destination for your higher education, and why, of course, choose us as a school of management to either start or pursue your higher education. First of all, why studying in France? France is actually known for the excellence of its higher education system. Would be good also to come to France to experience the French culture and lifestyle, which might be a bit apart from your own culture as well. It's also good to come to France as you will be able to travel around Europe with one single visa, since France is in the Schengen area. So that increases basically your opportunities as well, not only for leisure, but of course for professional perspectives as well, knowing that you can move from one country to another and be able to have a more international career, if you'd like, within the Europe. It is also good to come to France and open up to new languages, if you'd like. So of course you could learn French. There will be international career opportunities in France. And the key fact on the French companies is that actually 31st out of the 500 biggest companies in the world are French and are usually located around the Parisian area as well. So we'll talk more about the location of our campuses. France also excels in many industrial sectors. And what is good about France is all our internships, as long as they are more than 2 months long, will be paid. So whether you are French or foreign student, you will be paid for your internships, which is also quite a good point to mention to the students. About ESCA now. So ESCA is a school of management. We are a private institution founded in 1909. We're yearly ranked within the top 15 business schools in France, which is good to remember. About ESCA, we are a member of the Conférence des Grandes Écoles, so I know it doesn't ring much of a bell to you for students who are not very familiar with the French education system, but it is actually the equivalent to the Ivy League in the United States. And we also hold different accreditation, especially international accreditations, ASCSB, EQUIS, and EMBA, which are respectively a US accreditation, a European accreditation, and a British one. Ensuring the quality of the program that is being delivered to you, and some key elements about how good the program is and how well the students are performing as well on the job market after the graduation. A couple of key figures now about ESCA. So we welcome 6,000 students on 8 different campuses. We have 125 permanent faculty, 47 visiting professors, and 370 guest lecturers as well. So it's not only, as you can see, proper faculty members, but it's also visiting professors and guest lecturers who are from the world of business and will teach you a very hands-on approach about their experience as experts in their field, which is always very good. Okay, so it's not only about knowing the foundation of a core module, but it's also about putting it into practice through this hands-on approach. ESCA has also partnered with quite a huge amount of companies, so more than 2,500 partner companies, which means that if you're looking for an internship, if you're looking for a first job after graduation, it's always good to look at who we partnered with to see if there is any opportunities coming in the way. You also need to know that every single year ESCA invites these companies over to introduce you to, well, different professions and different open positions and open internships as well. So it's always good to have a one-on-one chat meeting with these different companies we have partnered with. And since 1909, our alumni network has, well, grown extensively, I would say, and we're happy to show that we have more than 16,000 alumni worldwide, and actually quite a couple of them are no longer based in France because they have decided to have a very international career, and we'll explain you why it is such into our DNA to be exposed to worldwide opportunities. About ESCA, like I was mentioning a bit earlier about the locations, the main location for our Master of Sciences will be Paris. So all the students who are interested in joining us for the Masters of Science degree programs will be all based in Paris, but actually, well, all the different students joining us for different programs, such as bachelor or a 2-year master in management, could be based on our different campuses besides Paris. So there are Strasbourg, Angers, Lyon, Bordeaux, and the newest campus is actually Strasbourg. And there is one in Aix-en-Provence as well, which is right above Marseille. For those who are quite big fan of football, for example, I'm sure you will know where Aix-en-Provence is. We have also different partner universities and a double degree diploma for those who would be interested in. And about ESCA, what we very value is, well, of course, the fact that we're fully recognized by the state and by the French Ministry of Higher Education is very important. Our accreditation also comes at a top priority for ESCA to make sure that our degrees are have quite a good reputation outside of the French environment, I would say. But what is good also about ESCA to emphasize on is our employability. So it's not only about how good we educate the students that are joining us, but it's also how good they are performing on the job market after graduation, and how well they are, if I may say. So the well-being of our freshly graduate students is very important to us, because that's a way we know that the studies are completely aligned with the needs of the businesses, and that the students are exactly where they would have liked to stand when they first started their studies at ESCA. So it's very good to know that basically things are all aligned between what the student was thinking of in the first place when joining ESCA and where he's standing upon graduation in a company, or either working freelance and building his own company. So as you can see, there are a couple of key figures here, KPIs, on how well they're doing on the job market. And as you can see, 81% of the graduates have signed contract before the end of their studies, which is quite optimistic and very enthusiastic for the students as well, to know that they could secure a job even before graduation. 85% of them were recruited in less than 4 months after graduation. And then this is how satisfied they are, and how their first contract truly match with the professional goals that they set up. And 86% of them were recruited by the company they wanted to work for. So it's also a good indicator that the students are very happy about their first step into the job market. We'll now talk about the postgraduate programs, and like I was saying, this is an introduction to the Masters of Science. Okay, so we're not discussing any other degree programs during this presentation. However, if you were currently, I don't know, in final year of high school, or doing maybe your first or second year of bachelor degree, and you would still be interested in joining us, you will find all our contact details at the very end of the presentation. So feel free to reach me either over the phone or by email to find out actually the other programs that we're also offering, that we also offer in full English. Okay, so you do not need to speak any word of French to join ESCA, as we are an international school, and we do have a very international exposure. So students can join us even though they don't speak French, from the first year of bachelor onwards. Okay, so this is our range of masters that you're seeing displayed online now. You can find all the details about every single MSc on our website, international.esca.fr, okay, /Master of Science. So feel free to have a look at what is said online as well. It will be a bit more detailed. So we have 5 different MSCs currently. So of course, there will be the MSc in Digital and Big Data for Value that we'll introduce a bit further later on. But we also have an MSc in International Finance, an MSc in Global Business Management, an MSc in International and Sustainable Development, and an MSc in International Luxury Marketing. You need to have in mind that whatever the MSc you're choosing, they last between 12 months up to 18 months, okay? For the 18-month format, it is for the students who decide to add an additional internship semester to their first academic semester. Okay, so that lasts a bit longer, but you get the chance to do an internship at the end of the 2 academic semester, which can be good as well to build up your CV, for example, if you would like to have a proper experience either in France or in Europe or elsewhere. Actually, it can be done from anywhere you'd like. Language of study will be English, okay? So even if you are Francophone, you will be taught in English. And if you are not a native speakers, which obviously aren't your case if you're all hearing us from Nigeria currently and are all Nigerians, but if you were not, and if you are coming from a country, non-Anglophone countries, kindly note that you may have to take a test, an English test, and to prove that you have certain proficiency in English up to what we call a B2 level, which is the intermediate English. So that's for the prerequisite about language. Campus will be Paris, like I was saying, all our MSCs are on our Parisian campus. And then there are different prerequisites about your profile, okay? So only students holding a minimum of a 4-year bachelor degree can apply. If you have a 3-year bachelor degree or any equivalents that are less than 4 years, okay, you are not eligible to our MSc. However, you could be eligible to other programs. So if you're still interested, let me know, okay? But for the MSCs, you will need to hold a 4-year bachelor degree. For some MSCs, you might not need to have studied anything that relates to the MSc before. But for the MSc in Digital and Big Data for Value, and Bruna will be the best person, I think, to talk about that, it is always good to have had some modules that could link to the to digital or either big data. So even Israel will tell you more about that later on, but it would be good to have a degree in any of the following fields, such as mass communication, computer sciences, business analytics, etc. So things that either relate to communication and, well, digital communication preferably, or all the data management. Okay. For the other MSCs, you still need to have a bit of a touch, if I may say, or at least show a strong interest in the topic, such as sustainability for the MSc in International and Sustainable Management, luxury for the International Luxury Marketing, and finance. You need compulsory to graduate to be well, to have a degree in finance. Okay, if you've never studied finance before, or if you have studied finance but not very intensively, unfortunately you won't be eligible to that program. So the more, I would say, the most open MSc is the Global Business Management one, because you do not need to have studied anything related to business before. And it is actually for students who are willing to add business knowledge to a more technical background, usually. So it can be students who have studied engineering sciences before, or any other degree which do not relate to business at all, and would like to combine both. For example, last year, we had a couple of students who were interested, but unfortunately this MSc was not opened yet, so it just opened this year. And this year we have been interested from students studying architecture, mechanical engineering, even a lady who was doing nursing as well. So you see, it is a very open open MSc. For the tuition fees now, because it's always important to have that in mind as we are a private institution, there is an application fee to be paid upon the submission of your online application. So it's a €90 fee. And then for the school fees, it will be €16,225 for the entire duration of the program, whether you choose a 12-month or the 18-month option. Okay, there is no difference in fees depending on the length of the program you will be choosing. Okay, let's finish with the application procedure, and then I will leave the floor to my colleague. For the application procedure, it's always good to remember when you can apply and the timeline and all the different requirements. So as you can see, for the timeline, we don't have much time left, so you need to hurry up if you'd like to take a chance and have an admission for the next intake. Okay, ESCA has only one intake per year. And it will be at the end of August, beginning of September. So it will be very fast approaching. So feel free, if you're interested, to share your application as soon as possible. Okay, everything is handled online on the apply.esca.fr website. Okay, I will also be in charge of assisting you with any procedure. So feel free to give me a shout if you need me, and if you need individualized assistance throughout this application procedure. Okay, the requirements and the admission process, what does it consist of? So it is an online application, like I was saying. You need to provide us with a certain number of supporting documents, such as your CV, cover letter, copy of your passport. If you do not have a passport yet, I do invite you to start applying for a new passport, or renewing your passport if your passport is coming to an end very soon. But you can still apply with an ID in the meantime. You will need to provide us with your bachelor transcripts and your bachelor degree, if applicable. Let's say you already graduated with your bachelor degree, feel free to send us a copy of the bachelor degree, and any recommendation later if you feel like it could highlight some features of your application. It's always good to show them off. There will be the application fee payment, like I was saying earlier, and there will be a 30-minute online interview. Israel will surely tell you more about that. And yeah, everything is done online. The admission outcome are usually issued within 10, 15 working days after the interview. Okay, but like I was saying, July the 8th, the admission portal and the application portal will be closing, so you will no longer be able to submit your application for the next intake. Then you will need to wait until October 2022 to apply for the intake of September 2023. Okay, so it will be basically 1 year ahead. We do offer scholarships, financial aid. However, I don't know if you can see on the slide, but the deadline was for today. Okay, which doesn't mean that, let's say you want to apply ASAP, you're 100% sure about the choice you're making, and you want to go fast with the procedure, we can still accept exceptionally last couple of applications for the scholarships. However, you must have the admission before applying for the scholarship. So you need to have done all these previous steps, which are, well, applying online, paying the fees, taking the interview before applying for the scholarships. Okay, and we have we have three different range of scholarships, but one is only applying for the undergraduate program, so that doesn't concern you. But for the other types of scholarships, we have one Master Excellence Scholarship and a President's Tuition Award. It applies basically as a deduction on the overall tuition fees, okay, going from 1,500 euros deduction up to 5,000 euros deduction. Okay, so feel free to have a look online on our website, international.sk.fr/scholarships. You will find out more about our scholarship scheme. Okay, so that's it for me. I will let Bruna take the floor.
Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you, Bruna, for being here. What I will do, since I'm the one having the presentation, let me know if when you want me to move on with the slide, okay, as you speak.
Perfect. Thank you, Laura. I will tell you next. So I'm really happy. I'm really pleased to be here today to present this Master of Science in Digital and Big Data for Value. If you're still taking a look in this presentation here with us today, is that maybe you might be interested in big data and how it can shape the future of companies. So in this sense, I will give you a quick overview about the program, and then I will let our colleague present how it was, and our students to present how it was the application process. And so maybe you would like to know more about new job trends and possible career in data analysis and business intelligence. So please, next, Laura, let's take a look on that. So how is SCAP prepare MSc Digital Big Data for value students? So as you can see, there is 3 pillars on this program: an academic, professional, international one. What we heard and what we get from our experiences that companies are seeking out managers who can design and implement effective digital marketing strategies. So integrating the analysis of massive data reported by connected objects, maybe you have ever heard about IoT, and also published each day on social networks. However, what we get from Europe scenario, and I think it's a worldwide problem, is that companies are struggling to recruit specialists and face a real shortage of experts in the field. Next, please. So what we had built is that we built a program that totalized 450 hours of on-site teaching. So it happens here in Paris. It's last 12 months. So one semester that's more focused on, let's say, management, and one semester more focus on data and engineering skills. What means big data? Big data can be decrypted as three V's. Let's say it's volume, velocity, and variety. So why I would like to invite you to join this program is that during this year of Master of Science, you'll be able to deal with statistics, mathematics, and computer science, and all that in the School of Management, because as you get, ESCA is the School of Management, so you will be able to develop your management skills as well. Next, please. So the educational, previous one. Yeah, thank you so much. So the educational content of the first semester is to acquire skills such as agility in collecting and analyzing multiple data sources across a variety of areas such as CRM, communication, risk management, or marketing. And the second one, the course are more focused on intelligence, marketing, communication, and statistics. And it will be on a par with the practical cross-curricular projects. As Laura showed you, you will be able to do also an internship. And of course, we'll be glad to help you to find the company that's where you can work. The next one, please. So in this sense, we would like to show you some companies that are hiring our students. So later on, I will show you some profiles of alumni from this course. And graduates are primarily designated to position of, as you can see, web marketing management, big data and digital transition consultant, social media manager, and on. What we heard from last students, how can I say, experience is that from last years, before they left the school, before they left the MSc, they had already signed their contract for a third of our last students. So I can say that it takes around no time for a third of our alumni to sign their contracts. For a third of them, it takes less than 2 months to have a contract to be hired for a big company like these ones. And for the last third, it takes around 3 months. So I can tell you that for our experience, it took less than 3 months to be hired for a company if you follow this program. So 100% of our students were able to sign a long-term contract until now. 100% believe that their job corresponds to their qualification, and half of them were hired for consultants activities as director, product management, account executive, or project manager. Next one, please, Laura. So it's the same, I think. Sorry. So as I would like to share with you, you can be free to contact them. I'm sure that they will be happy to answer any questions that you can have from our program. This alumni, he works, as you can see, as account manager in a consultant company. Next one, please. And to show you an example from a big company, for example, Marine Liu, she's happy to be working in Accenture as a technology consultant nowadays. So that's what I would like to share with you today. If you have any questions about the program, I will be really glad to take some time to speak with you. Now I would like to invite Israel Lowell to join us and to explain how was and to share his experience when he applied to our MSc. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bruna. And yeah, we'll let Israel open his mic and answer a few questions, because we find it always very good to invite students over for this sort of live events, because of course we're here to introduce ESCA to the largest number of them, but what is always good for them and what they can rely on is actually the proper experience that has been lived by a student himself. And Israel, we invited you because, obviously you're from Nigeria, but it is also a way to probably tell more about you to start off with, and then maybe explain how was this application journey, if I may say.
All right, thank you, Laura, and thank you everyone for inviting me over for this platform to just talk to everyone about my experience applying for this course in ESCA. Thank you once again, everyone. So basically, my name is Israel Lawal, as everyone knows right now. Currently a media practitioner, a media strategist at Brand High Media in Nigeria. What we do is we are into advertising, and basically in advertising, in order to reach your consumer or your target audience and all that, you definitely need data. So basically, there's one of the reasons why I'm actually studying. I would want to study, or presently I am studying big digital and big data for value.
Okay, and Israel, could you explain what made you think that you had to sort of go back to education to either, I don't know, increase your knowledge or have different career opportunities? I mean, at what point of your career and of your life you said, okay, maybe it's time to go back and further study, and why digital and big data for value finally?
Okay, thank you. So basically, I've had in mind of going back to school to study after my uni days. So basically, when I left school, I hadn't known what to study yet. Maybe I should go back to same field, or I should try other field. So I wasn't quite sure, but it took me some time based on the fact that when I started working, I have to balance myself to know what I want. So along the line, I noticed that, okay, I think I'll need to go into data. And why I actually applied for big data for value is because I understand that every consumer and everyone has a different mindset. And before I can reach those people that have those particular mindsets, I have to know how to reach them, and how to know, and also how they actually use more of the digital. How can I get them on the digital platform? And how can I, how can I reach them in such a way that I give them, so basically, how can I reach them? That is one of the reasons why I'm actually studying. I would want to study big data for value.
Okay. And after doing all this pondering about going back to uni and further study mostly big data, I would say, how did you find out about ESCA, and what made you choose our program rather than, I don't know, our competitors' school?
Okay. Oh, okay. So basically, while I was surfing the internet to look for a right choice of school to go to, I actually found some, but then most of the courses I was seeing were not really related to my field or related to what I would want to do. So I spoke with my elder brother and he suggested ESCA. And so while I went through the website of ESCA, so I found some interesting courses, not just big data for value, but I saw some other interesting courses that most universities do not have.
Mhm.
So I was able to like, okay, I went through all the courses, what the offerings of each courses. So I found out that, okay, big data for value is in line with what I want to do. So that was one of the reasons why I had to like go for big data for value with ESCA.
Okay, very well. And then there is this, of course, this application procedure that you had to go through. So how was it in a couple of words?
Okay, so the application process was actually smooth. I wasn't actually expecting it because I've had experiences from people I know who try to apply to other schools. It take them a while for them to even be called upon for an interview, or for them to actually, or for the university to even get back to them that they have been chosen and all that. So, but for ESCA, it was quite smooth. I don't think it took me up to a month or two to finish my process. I don't think it was up to 2 months to finish on my process, because by the time I applied, I submitted all my documents, my credentials. After submitting that, I had to pay some certain amount of money. Then from there, I had to do an interview. Yeah, the online interview. Then from there, the online interview, I was even expecting that I might take like 2 to 3 weeks, but I think it wasn't up to a week. I got a confirmation that I passed through the interview. But nevertheless, everything was smooth, and I think ESCA is one thing to say that, or one thing I can push to people to say, oh, go to ESCA, check out the course offering. I think they have speed and response time and all that. So
okay, well, thank you very much for these kind words, and show how smooth and easy it has been for you. I think students sometimes they're very stressed out when it comes to the interview because they don't know what to expect. They're not too sure how it will go. So what would be the tips that you would like to share with them to better prepare for the interview?
Okay, so what I would tell most incoming students to do during their interview is just be yourself, be free, try as much as possible to just be open-minded, express how you feel. You don't need to like hide some certain words. You don't need to, just be free, because there are some questions that might look, they're not technical. They just want to know how you reason and all that. So you just come out straight and just explain how you say things. So that's basically, just be yourself.
Okay, no, very good. And well, that will be probably one of my last questions, but how do you feel about coming to France in the next couple of weeks more?
Well, just to let me just say the fun part of it. I'm actually just jumping around the house since past couple of months, just telling everybody I'm leaving Nigeria, I'm going to France to school and all that. So I've been very, very excited. And it's almost a few months to September, and I can't wait to join everyone over there and let's study together.
Yeah, okay, that's very good. Well, I know when we first talked together about your application, Israel, I don't know if you had learned a bit of French before, or if you were probably planning on learning it, but how do you feel now about while arriving to France and integrating into that new environment? What would be the approach about the French language, if you have any?
Okay, so for French, I would love to learn more French. I actually have like a basic background of French. Why? Because when I was in my elementary school, I was taught French up to my O-level days. I also was taught French. Even in the uni days too, I was taught French at some point, and not as a course. So basically, I have some basic understanding about French. But then when I get to the land of French, definitely I would want to learn a bit more of French and be able to speak more and relate to other of my colleagues in French.
Okay, very well. And very last question, maybe about how do you see yourself in the future? I mean, upon graduation, after ESCA, do you have any plans already? What would you like to do?
Yeah, I actually have. So thank God for the fact that I'm actually a senior executive in my field currently. And so coming over to ESCA to study more and get more ideas on data and all that. Even in Nigeria itself, yeah, a lot of companies are depending mostly on data analysts or social media managers. Let me just say managers or project managers and all that. So a lot of companies are actually looking for people like that. But me in person, to be honest, yeah, I don't think I want to even come back to Nigeria. I would love to stay in France and continue my career there. And in terms of what I would like to do over in France, I would love to be a brand manager, project manager, anything that comes my way. To be honest, I would do. So that's basically it.
Okay. Any field, that particularly interests you, or you're quite open?
Yeah, I'm quite open, but basically communication, but digital communication and all that. But definitely, I'm quite open.
Okay, very well. Well, thank you very much, Israel. Do you have anything else maybe to add to the students hearing us today?
Nothing specific. It's just what I can just tell everyone or all students is to be determined in what they want to do, and they should be determined in what they would like to achieve. So that's just basically what I have to let everyone know.
Yeah, that's very good. You're talking about achievement and goals, and I think well, there are as many goals as there are individuals as well, and it's always good to know how well you see yourself in the future, and make sure that the education that you're choosing or the school that you're choosing will meet all the different expectations that you set yourself. So that's very good. Thank you so much for sharing your feedback with us. And
thank you very much. Thank you very
much. The way it has been for you during from the very start of the procedure until now. And actually, I'm not sure if we will hear Isis from Campus France Nigeria, but also know that I am in charge, along with, of course, my colleagues from the International Recruitment Department, to also help you out with the visa procedure. Okay, and as for Nigerian students, you have to go through Campus France as your first step, and then take an interview with one of the counselors. And then once this interview is over, you can then drop off your application file at the French consulate in Nigeria. So Israel, I think currently you're sort of waiting for your appointment, right? Campus France appointment.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. That's
Okay, perfect. So thank you once again. Let me just to finish off with share the contact details of ESCA and how you can reach us as well for further inquiries and see if any of our programs could be a good fit for you. So I am Laura Clement. There is also Bruna from the MSc if you'd like to have a few words about this MSc in digital and big data more particularly. But for any questions, do reach me first. So either by email at laura.clement@esca.fr, or international.admissions @esca.fr. And there is also my WhatsApp number. You can reach me directly over WhatsApp for a call. I do invite you, of course, to visit our website, international.esca.fr. You will find all the information that you need, both about the programs, but also about our scholarship scheme that I was mentioning a bit earlier on. But what you need to remember is that there is not much time left to apply until the closing of the application portal. So feel free to reach out to me very quickly if you'd like to be part of this this onboarding experience starting at the end of August, beginning of September for the MSc programs. But also know that the intake dates will be quite similar for the other programs as well, so bachelor and master programs. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. and we'll be in touch soon, I hope. Isis, hopefully you were with us, even though we didn't quite hear you. But thank you for letting us, while presenting ESCA. It's always good to have that time with the students, even though it is online. Because unfortunately, the past 2 years, we were planning on coming to Nigeria for student fairs, but due to the pandemic, we could not move and we could not come and meet you. So hopefully next year, there will be, I think, a campus France fair. Date has not yet been confirmed, but if it does take place, ESCA will be part of that student fair, and we'll finally be able to meet you physically. So hopefully that will take place. But until then, yeah, feel free to reach us by email or over the phone for more information. Thank you again. Thank you, Israel. Thank you, Bruna, and have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.